How we all doing? The stage is set. The nationals proper has begun, right? We've had the nationals. We've been seeing the nationals, but this is actually the nationals. This is what determines who becomes the national champion. And as always, I am your host for this whole shebang, Ken Mason, PM Chess. Uh, and yeah, you notice a few things. I'm not at the venue. Very difficult to make a choice for this week. Thing is, the tournament isn't going to end by this Sunday, by tomorrow. It's going to end in 3 weeks, if I recall. We are playing 2 rounds today, 2 rounds tomorrow, 2 rounds next week. There are 4 rounds next week, and then the last remaining round the following week. So there's going to be a whole 3 weeks of chess. So to send my equipment there and bringing it back will be a problem, but I will be live at least 1 or 2 of the weeks. So don't worry. If you want to see the players, you will see them. I just have to use one of the data available to me. So the games are off. As you can see, we are currently on board 1, which is Hasford John Kojo versus Loglo Daniel Loglo. 2 key things. Dr. Kwabna Edupoku is not participating. Neither is the current national champion, Phillips Selikem. Both players are not participating. Hence why you notice, I think Daniel Loglo has a new name or something of that sort. Yeah. So we are setting to get a new national champion by the end of this tournament, right? Because Edupoku is not around and Selikem is also not around. Okay. So let's get started. We'll take a look at the games as they take shape, and we'll see what happens, right? So Daniel Ogla is playing against FIDE Master Hasford, John Kojo Hasford, who has been, I think, the 3-time national champion. And we have d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, and then we have c4. So a little bit of a transposition line. So you remember we discussed how knight f3 is very flexible. Many openings fit into knight f3. So your opponent has to wonder, is he going the landing? Is he going there? It kind of, the whole point of flexible openings is that it can kind of disrupt your opponent's flow, right? Because they may be expecting something from you, but once you bring in something that's flexible, they can't tell clearly what you are playing. Of course, they can still make plans against it, but they can't tell clearly what you are playing until you make more definitive moves. So here c4 is a more definitive move, right? Because we now see the Queen's Gambit and we see a Slav defense. It's just sometimes it's just so annoying and funny, right? If we played e6, is the Queen's Gambit declined. If we played this, is the Slav. If we now close everything off, is the semi-Slav. It's like, come on, right? Knight c3, bishop f5, d takes d5, c takes d5, and queen to b3. Hasford is a very solid player, and he can look for the smallest chink in your armor, be it doubled pawns, be it getting a pawn up, and just have you by the neck, right? So already queen b here puts a problem to black, right? How is he going to continue to defend the position? Because if you try to hold this one, you lose the defense of this one. So it's like, how do you choose to guard your position from this point on? And that's already the question he's posing on to Daniel Loglo. So how would I even do this? If I was the one playing this, how would I do this? The simplest method is to go queen to d7. But you see the instant issue that can bring. Again, this doesn't work straightforward, but now it doesn't work at all. I was looking at e4 with the bishop coming in here, right? Of course, it's easily blocked. That's something it doesn't work at all. But you can see the problem of lining up your queen in the diagonal of the bishop. If you lose focus, that could come back to bite you. So even if you played, for example, even if you play queen b3, there is knight to e5, which you also have to think about. And the position becomes a little bit scary there. So already Daniel, even though it's the opening, he is in a bit of a conundrum. He has to answer questions here, which is pretty sad for him, isn't it? He's not gotten so far into the game, and already things have been posted at you. Wari Gold versus Miracle Morris. So, guys, this is going to be a matchup we're going to watch. The father versus the son, as you guys were mentioning the last time. We have d4, d5, knight c3, knight f6, bishop f4. So, in case you guys didn't know, Morris, that's Josh Tego on Lee Chess or on chess.com, he does play the London system. Though he speaks against it, he keeps speaking against the London system as though he's not a London connoisseur. He is a London connoisseur. He just doesn't want people to know he's a London player. But this is the Jubava London. He thinks because he plays the Jubava, he's a different breed. It's still the London, right? It's just the London's bad cousin. I don't consider it better. That's a lie. But anyways, it's a very aggressive way of playing, and Josh is very aggressive, right? Josh likes creative, energetic chess, at least from what I've seen from his games, gambiting and everything, right? So bishop f4, c5, e4. E4 is a crazy move, right? Like normally you just go like e3, and you've seen me play these lines. If your opponent doesn't take care and he plays this, fine. But you can understand where he's coming from, right? Because if you play this, he knows that this is a possibility. Like the game just becomes boring from this point, and he doesn't want to have this kind of lifeless position. So it kind of makes sense why he's going for this, right? So yeah, e4. I think I've looked at e4 when I was playing the Jubava, and if you don't know what is going on here, like you can easily trip up. Think about it like the alien gambit, or yeah, well, you can easily trip up. So yeah, it's a matter of preference and choice here. I think if you can remember like the Albion or Albion counter gambit with like the Queen's gambit declined, it kind of has a similar theme where how does it normally go? I have to flip the board, sorry. Yeah, so normally this is what happens, and then we have pawn push. You see a similar theme here, and there's a trick here to win the bishop. I kind of can't remember it on the fly, but you kind of see a similar theme with the way he's playing this with the e4, right? If his opponent takes, there's a possibility that he's going to play e4. He's going to play d5, right? Then there are some very tricky lines in this. Especially if you are playing with a tempo up with white as compared to black, there's a lot of crazy stuff that can happen here. So knight takes e4, knight takes e4, pawn takes. Okay, so with the way it went, he didn't go pawn push. Takes. Okay, no queen trades. Interesting. And he retreats the bishop. I was wondering if, because I don't remember if we discussed this, but I think he liked this idea. Or is he averse to it because of this? Because you could still play this. You don't have to defend this way and cause that issue. I mean, it's not a bad move. I also, I mean, you could still make the same move, but that doesn't really matter, right? I think maybe he doesn't want to give his opponent this active move. That could be the case. So in other words, if like you do this, your opponent may not push here. He might rather push this way. That's all. I don't get it. But yeah, he does play e6. So it could be that would be the issue. That would be the reason why he did that. But even without the bishop being here, I think pushing to e5 makes more sense because of this bishop. The bishop on c8 is like not the best. If that makes any sense. So, like in seeing this bishop and being like, where is my bishop going to go in the future? E5 makes perfect sense, whether or not the bishop exists on the square. Now, Morris is not without problem. It's very difficult calling him Morris or Miracle because I'm used to calling him Josh Tego. Anyways, he's not without issue because of his knight. His knight cannot develop where it would want to, so you would have to go through a different route of this, or more or less what I think he's going to play is knight to c4. That's actually what I think he's going to play. But what I'm eager to see if he's going to play b4 or something else. But I feel like he's going to play b4 because, like I said, I've played this structure before. So I've looked at this structure before, and sometimes having this pawn passed can be a thorn at your opponent's side. And during the 2024 Nationals, 2024, I think, I played against Chief's father, that is David Achampong, and I did get this line against him. Not exactly in this manner, but I did get the line where I have these 3 pawns versus these 2, and this pawn ended up becoming an issue for him, right? In the future, it ended up becoming a passed pawn. Let's move on to the next one. Another lively matchup. We have Prince Akbar versus former Clinton Cephas. Look, I won't be shocked if Clinton becomes national champion or if Morris becomes national champion, but we still have to see their performance, right? And we have d4 by Clinton, who's playing white here. Knight f6, knight c. I've never seen Clinton play like this. I've never seen Clinton play like this. This must be prep. This must be prep. E6, d4, e4, bishop g. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. If he played g6, I would say that he was playing Morris's line, right? But I think because this yeah, g5, and he goes e5. Welcome. e5, knight jumps back, and you can trade off here because the bishop on e5 is the bishop on g5 is your bad bishop, and the bishop on e7 is your opponent's good bishop, right? So you could trade here. And it's also like a very interesting trick you can play in the landing system, which is very funny. I may not go too much into it, but sometimes when your opponent plays bishop, not in all positions, but sometimes when your opponent goes bishop to d6, you don't go back. You simply go this way, targeting the queen, and they retreat their bishop back, and there's a trade, right? And there's a trade, and with that trade, you are in a better position because you've traded off your bad bishop for your opponent's good bishop, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'm good. We are looking at the nationals, so a lot more focus will be on the games. Queen g4, instant threat, castles and castles queen side. Okay, I thought I was going to delay it a bit and go, for example, bishop here. Not to say he was going to go that way. Maybe h4, h5, that kind of thing. But yeah, he goes with it immediately. And this is exactly why I was saying maybe you should hold on or with it a little bit. Okay, bishop here might also be a problem because of c5. But yeah, this is going to be an aggressive game. He could have held on and then eventually castled peg side. There was no reason to go queen side. But he's ready for this. He's ready for this. c5, f4. f4 makes sense. If he takes, you want to keep the pawn defended. Yeah, this is all standard. Like in terms of attacking motif. Getting this knight here can be a big problem. You may not even take this guy now, or you may not even take him at all, because you want to plop the bishop on this square, right? Knight c6, knight to f3. It seems he wants to take it. Ooh, queen h5. Sometimes this even causes me a bit of difficulty because sometimes I'm a little bit too focused on getting the bishop on this diagonal, but there are times when letting the diagonal close is actually very fine. Chess positions are very volatile. You don't, even though we have rules to follow, they are not always hard set rules. They differ based on the position in front of you. So yeah, queen h5. There's a very simple plan of knight to g5, and of course he knows knight to g5 is not going to be checkmate, but the consistent pawn pushes he's creating on his opponent's side of the board is what's going to give him a better position. Don't forget, his opponent has a light square bishop, so all these pawns on the light squares are making this guy even worse, right? So for example, if his opponent is to, I have no idea what he plays here, but let's just develop here and jump in this way. We do have this move, right? Now you know you're not going to win this, but just creating these weaknesses is like good enough for you. Queen can retreat, and then h4, h5 does become a problem. So you get to see what is going on in the position. So queen h5 is where we are now. David Diama, the Undertaker, the guy who never died. You can call him a Phoenix, but I like Undertaker because he comes out from the grave to put you in the grave. He didn't draw any of those games. Actually, no, he drew against Bernard and Herrera. Okay. E4, E6. French? I think that's French, yeah. D4, D5, knight D2. Okay. Knight C5, knight D2, F3, knight C6. All these, I've seen them in Scandinavian lines. Just I'm looking at it from the white side, so it's a little bit different. Bishop to B5, A6 takes, bishop takes, and castles. Okay. Very difficult to develop the bishop in this position. They have okay. So sorry, the coffee that's in my system. So there's like knight the normal idea I've seen has to do with like the knight developing here in case of like pawn push, and there are also lines with the knight developing to this square. But where this differs from the position I'm very normal, like I see offering, is the position of the pawns, right? There's a missing pawn here. Your opponent is likely not going to capture here because this is a weakness. This is the backward pawn. If he captures, he fixes your pawn structure. Not to say that he can't, but not likely to. So I wonder what he's going to do. Is he just going to play like e5 at some point? So, like we said, either to this square or to this square, depending on what the opponent plays. This is the French bishop. it's, it's going to be like this for a while. He could have played e5, takes. He still has 2 points. Wait, no, I'm sorry. The knight, yes. Yeah, he couldn't have played the e yet. But it's something that he can aim at, pushing the e5 pawn in this position. Rook e1 not be the move there. I mean, I would actually, if you play b5 or b3, I think that would even allow this move to exist. Because the bishop can't come in here. Eventually, I'm going to play this move and pawn push. So even if your opponent like manages this, actually no. I was thinking you could push here, but now this problem. But then you don't need to push there. You are still completely fine here. Your opponent can like line up to take it, just not convinced of it. You'll be locking in your own. That's like the very difficult part about it. The knight e7. Now let's go. Benadan Ware versus returning from the grave. Amekufile Elikem. We had an interview with him, Yeah. He's gonna play old school chess. That's something you have to know. He is old school in the first place, so he's definitely going to play old school chess. Give me a second. Yeah. When I kind of don't remember what he played when he used to play actively. Okay, so we have C4 English, E5. Okay, they call it. Some people call it the reverse Sicilian. Um, more or less the Dutch. Actually, it's not the Dutch. Knight F6, Knight F3, E, Knight C6. Sorry, E4. That's some crazy chess right there. Bishop C5, Knight takes E5, Knight takes E5, D takes D4, Bishop to B4, and then takes. So that was just like a temporary sacrifice of a knight. He knew that after the knight captured, it's going to be in position of a 4, and then he's going to get this position. But I think the follow-up move is going to be this. And I don't... It's a very tricky line. How he responds to this is going to be very crucial. The most likely response is going to be queen to c5. And then you have to figure out this out. Maybe I just this is fine. And maybe you see a castle's queen side. But yeah, this is an old school line if I can recall. But the moves are lost on me. Okay, so you rather go queen f3, which is also very fine. The knight doesn't. The knight is not being impeded here. I looked at this first because it attacks the knight, which this one does. But I was also thinking about knight moves in the back of my mind. So yeah, you can play queen to c4, but it doesn't have the same power, right, as if you had played here. You can still develop the bishop to f4, but it's a little bit dicey. We are more or less likely to see bishop to d3. More or less likely to see that. If he does intend to castle kingside. If we see something like bishop to d3 and there's no captures, if he captures, no, if he does castle queenside, it's just going to bishop takes and he loses from there. So I think the safest bet is to go kingside, which is why I'm expecting like bishop in this position. We actually had b. He took with the knight. That's like he has the activity. He has the activity, no doubt. But this is a long term. This is the way, if I recall, I think he plays like that. I think I'm recalling a game against the combined harvester, Anthony Ajavon. I think he played a game exactly like this against Anthony Ajavon. If there's anybody that's not well known, okay, I mean, I won't say not well known, but no one can tell what he's going to play. Okay, he starts with queen. I thought he was going to start with bishop. Forcing his opponent to castle kingside. If that's a bad thing, that's left to your own discretion. But castle's kingside, and then you immediately hit with this. So if you go pawn push, you lose the rook. So that's the kind of idea he's going for first. I thought he would go here first, but going this way first is good enough. You may have to, for example, play this bad move, but you may have to play this if you don't want certain complications to happen. Because the moment you castle, you just have to deal with this. You have to find a way to deal with this. And as you can see, black is very tied up now, right? If he wants to do anything, queen has to come in, pawn has to push out, bishop has to come out if he wants to castle the opposite side. But here you can see that if he tries castling to the opposite side, he's really gonna be in trouble here. So he has to make an instant decision. And g6 might be met with this to prevent your opponent from castling. So Philip is really tying down his opponent. He's really tying down his opponent. Okay. He okay, he doesn't. Okay, that's mine. This line, I know it's very. I'm trying to remember what line it is, like what variation it is. It's not my first time seeing this. I've always questioned this line and how funny it looks. But I think he played this against Anthony Ajavon, as in Anthony Ajavon was the one who had this position as white with this like very scanty pawn structure. What the heck is it? And Ajavon had a draw in this position against Mr. Philip, if I can recall. Always energetic chess here. Yeah, so this is going to be more interesting. Now, sorry, I said more interesting. The phase one was more blood, like more of a bloodbath. And right now the ceiling is going up, right? Because normally like 6 points is enough to let you qualify. But 6 points was not enough to let you qualify this year. So that means next year, who knows? You may need 7 to qualify, right? Because these guys are getting hungry. But with this one, they know their opponents, right? For all the days they'll be playing, they know their opponents, right? It's not like they are waiting for the parent to end and find out who they'll be playing next. They know clearly who their opponent is from today up until the end of the tournament. So preparation is really going to be key here, right? And that's what we're going to be seeing a lot. Okay, Hasford playing in a more aggressive style against Daniel Loglaw. He has managed to fix some of the issues that he had in the position. But after takes here, he plays bishop back, which is also a viable move. I just don't like backward moves. But you see the problems that come with like playing queen here. And it makes sense to just make this one move and then redevelop your position. So it's not 100% like a bad move. It just looks bad. Bishop to g5, e6, e3, bishop e7, castles. Sorry, check, and then he realigns the bishop. It's basically I checked you, you blocked with your bishop. Now I go back and I'm reinforcing the threats. I don't know if that would have been necessary. I think you could have just gone this way. I get the idea, but my point is this bishop is locking the back rank, so the rook can't come out. But by playing this, you give your opponent a chance to be free, though you did like a tempo kind of move. So I don't know. Bishop to b5, bishop to d7, and then we have this move. Knight to e5, castles king side, castles king side, knight bd7, and then f4. So we are having this kind of Colli-Zukertort line here, though not as offensive as Biney's position, right? Not as offensive as Biney's position. I'm just wondering what he decides to do if this is the follow-up move. Coming forward to target this might not be the right idea because of this. Actually, no, you can't do that. Yeah, you might have to go takes here first. Takes. And now how do you hold on to this guy? I'm saying this. And this might actually help. Why? Because you can see that now he's really loading up here. There's a chance to even bring the rook to the square. We saw how deadly of an attack that was against Ediama. So he might contemplate on whether or not to actually take the knight here. Oftentimes you would want to, because this knight on e5 is a very like annoying piece. It controls quite a number of squares in black's position, and it can be a thorn at his side. So sometimes people are very eager to get rid of it. Yeah, so that's what's going on here. Oftentimes I like when they take because I just immediately get something to do to my opponent. That's personally how. Let's go to the father versus the son. Let's see what happened. Nothing much has happened here. Okay, so after the bishop went back, what happened? Okay. Okay. This is a controlling play. He is keeping, this is prep. Like Morris is going to be unexpected because of his prep. He doesn't prep, like, don't think, most often sometimes people think prepping is I'm using the engine, I'm looking at the top engine moves. No, Morris is looking for the engine moves that will lead him into an aggressive position where he can make it hard for his opponent to make decisions, right? That is his prep. And just this queen move, of course, I know that you can see that there's what do you call it? E5 here. But just this move, you can see the problem is creating here for black, right? You can't move the bishop if you wanted to. But the moment you move the bishop, you are losing something here. Right? He has moved the queen up, which means that he has the ability to castle queenside, which he may decide to go towards. But the main issue here for black is that he can't move the bishop. So this might be a move. And I wonder what option he picks from here. This is actually where I'll be excited to see. Because takes, if bishop takes, we have bishop takes. If knight takes, we have takes with check. Right? And once again, if something like the queen blocks, we can take. And that temporarily stops castling. But I'm sure we'll see something like bishop here. Which may invite this move. Like, you see how the game is going. Actually, no, sorry. That's bad. If he plays bishop, he just loses the knight. So you see like how annoying these players can be when they prep against you. There's a lot of pressure in the position, and they're just going to keep firing the pressure at you. I'm trying to see if there's something different he could play here. That's all. So yeah, queen d4. Queen d4, I think it's an interesting move. I do think it's an interesting. Why can't he force the queen exchange? No, he can force the queen exchange, but I don't think he would want to. I mean, I don't think white would want to force the queen exchange. Unless he has hopes of keeping up the pawn, keeping the pawn up or something. Other than that, I don't think there's a reason to keep the queen exchange or to force the queen exchange. I think the queen exchange reduces the firepower of white's position. Unless you're saying why doesn't black force it? And that's a different thing altogether. Actually, I've not even checked this line. I've not actually looked at this line. Queen f6. Queen f6. Let's say takes. Do we have this? That's the question you would have to answer. Because I think the only safe squares are here and here. So I think you would play here because it comes with check. No, there's this. So it just looks dicey. But yeah, Queen F6 is a possibility. Yeah, Queen F6 is a possibility. But the lines are a little bit. I mean, this pawn is falling regardless. With this line, even if he doesn't win anything, I think the pawn may be dropping regardless. You could play pawn push if you want to hold on to the pawn, as in if you don't want to lose the pawn, because takes, and then you are like there. Yeah, but he goes Queen A5, which is the move I was mentioning. The point is with Queen A5, if you go this way, your opponent just takes the pawn. But with this, he can still just hide himself here. Yes, definitely. That's the way to go when you are struggling, right? You sacrifice material, mostly a pawn, to open up the position for yourself. And losing that pawn, I mean, is not that big of a deal. You can, if you play well, you can get into a draw position. But it's very difficult to come back and say you are winning that kind of a position. Which is always a good sign for the person who causes that, right? So I feel like black is like, oh, why? Why was I thinking too much? Isn't it just b4? Yeah, it's just b4. You don't even need to play this. You just play b4. What am I missing? Is b4 not playable? Yeah, you just play b4. This is almost like the position I wanted to have against Clinton. But for me, this pawn was not defended. Yeah, possibly Queen F6 was a much better option. Or what was the other move I mentioned? E5. Both moves I think would have put more pressure on white than Queen A5. Because there's no trick. Like, yeah, he plays b4. There's no bishop takes trick. Because you take, if you take, I take, I'm up a piece. There's no bishop takes trick. Neither is there knight takes trick. So I don't get this. He has to go back with his queen, and you've literally just helped your opponent. Right? Because if you go back with the queen, I can just take this pawn now. That's if I wanted to. Like, wouldn't it be funny in this position if after queen d8, he's like, nah, let me just develop another piece? Actually, he can't even do that. So he might want to take here. Like, takes here, bishop comes in this way. Then we have bishop to d3. And we are still stopping you from castling. This move does not work because we take here. So maybe you might want to consider a move like f6, g6. Which, again, we can try and stop him. Like, it's not easy. Never. I don't. Love the sleep. Always testing the limits. Let's keep it chess friendly. We don't do that. We really don't do that. I don't know if it's something you've heard, but we don't do that. None of the chess players I know, maybe apart from one of them, does that. But even those who do smoke, they often don't smoke during tournaments. So, yeah. Okay, so he plays queen a4. Again, I'm still not seeing it. I'm trying to see. It has something to do with sacrifices, right? In this position, there's bishop takes. That's the point you should get here. Or there's bishop takes or there's knight takes. You give me a like for testing the boundaries. You always do that. You always test the boundaries and then give a like. At this point, you have to start donating. So any captures here, capturing back. Okay, actually, it's not possible. What am I saying? Yeah, because I was thinking bishop takes, you take back, and then queen takes. The queen is defended by the, like, so I don't get it. What's the point? What is Warigo doing here? Again, I'm not using the engine as a stance now because I want to think about the position. I actually don't. It affects the opponent who doesn't smoke. Right? It affects the opponent who doesn't smoke. And it's a very serious thing because I once had an opponent who he kept clicking his tongue. That type of sound as we were playing. And it was so annoying. It was so annoying to me. And I don't know if it was intentional, but I assumed it was an issue that he had. Like, it was a habit of his. Like, if you look at my hair, you notice that this part of my hair is going back. It is not that my hairline is receding. When I get tense, I start pulling my hair. Right? And mostly I pull from the front here. So when I notice that I've overdone it, then I have to make a mental note to not pull my hair. Right? So I was thinking that was a habit of his that he gained, but apparently that was not the case. I should have just reported him to the arbiter. So those things distract. So an opponent who is smoking is really going to distract you. Is really, really going to distract you. The chessboard. Especially if you are not a smoker. Imagine entering a chess tournament and you just see the whole place full of smoke. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Right? You have to market it to kids, right? And in fact, right now, the strong players or the highest participants are like kids. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have statistics for that, but there's a high number of children playing chess in the modern age. So smoking is not going to fly here. It's really not going to fly here. So yeah, I disagree with you. All that to say, I disagree with you. What a long conversation there. Okay. I'm thinking about this move and I'm trying to see if there's any reason why we wouldn't go for this. But I'm thinking, like, even if there was bishop takes, right? We have this move. That's like my mind. Like, what at all that black thing that he's doing that helps him? Because once you move the rook wherever I take here, like I don't see it. I feel like it feels to me that white is completely winning this position or white is completely fine. But I'm just resisting the urge to turn on the engine because this bishop is lacking space. This knight is lacking activity. He has to develop here first before he can even think about anything. This bishop is struggling to develop. At this point, it's not an easy thing. Blacks should concentrate on the development. Yeah, but how? I don't know what, like, I need to understand this queen move because it doesn't make any sense. I think just moving back away from all this stress would allow him to stay in the game. I don't know what he's aiming for. I really wish I could tell what he was aiming for, but it doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. Like, was he worried about queen d8, bishop b5? I don't think that's something to be worried about. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'm falling for it. 0.5, that's very low. The engine gives this a plus 0.5. There's something about this move that I'm not seeing. But to me, it just feels bad. Like, sometimes the engine says 0.5, but it's literally just a lost position. There are some times when I'm playing chess and my opponent does something, I'm like, okay, the engine might say plus 0.7. The game is just over from that point. Okay. He did take? No, this is Clinton. Yeah. Blue that has 4 game, right? Oh, he did trade. Okay. Oh, so he's up a pawn now. Okay. I mean, that's classic Hasford. He gets up a pawn and then he just wins from there. That's how he beat me. I played him only once and that's how he beat me. You defend. You can play this threatening this here, but you're not going to actually take this because that's just a pin on you. Maybe something like this, and then we continue from there. The queen is getting out of play here. Clinton playing unorthodox. Let's see what happens. Oh, so he did go the knight, like I said, and his opponent played h6, which is actually not what I expected. Oh, this is classic. This is classic. You take and you are losing. You saw in my stream the last time my opponent tried doing this against me. You can try this, but then you just get hit with this, and that's the end of the game. That's just the end of the game. Just don't take. That's the simple rule you have to follow there. Just don't take. Now he's looking for active play here. There's this move. So it's like give up on your attack or lose your rook. I mean, he doesn't have to make that choice. He can just move the rook elsewhere. Like here. That's if he wants to. You could also play the... That is crazy. What is the point? Okay, it's the exact same thing. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. Yeah, if you move... Check. King comes in this way. I think you still would check. King comes in this way. Then you play check here. I think that's what he's aiming. King comes in here. I don't know how we win it. Like this. Yeah, that's how we win. Yeah. So he plays knight takes. Okay, and now pawn takes. And now queen f7. And we go up a pawn, right? Because takes, and then we take here. And we up a pawn. So we've equalized in pawns, but we'll simply get up a pawn when we go knight takes here. And after knight takes here. But I don't know if he's going to play that. It feels like he's actually aiming for knight e5. Knight d5, sorry. Knight d6, sorry. It feels like that's what he's aiming for. That's what Clinton is aiming for here. Like, Clinton is very strong. You look at the rating and be like, oh, okay, maybe just 100 points. Like, Clinton is no slouch. He plays like a professional. That's how I see him. He plays like a professional. Maybe 2200. Like, he plays very well. He plays very well. He sees resources just like a professional. He calculates very well. Like, the guy is just good. Hard to believe when we were in school, I was the one who had a winning record against him. Right now, it's just bad for me. David Diama, so far, I mean, it's the most normal looking game in this whole tournament. Right now, he's trying to take space, trying to create a very strong and solid center, develop the bishop probably, and try and go for an advantage there. I don't know if you're going to go e4, e5, e5, e4, but definitely trying something here. I'm sure, like, if he did this, I'm sure his opponent would have just taken and didn't want to allow that. So he'd rather keep in the knight. Bishop goes back, you still like have this kind of move. And if you want to trade off the knight for the bishop, you'd be very happy to do that if you were black, right? Bishop goes, you just trade. He takes, and now you have the range. Okay, actually, not, you can't push immediately. Maybe bishop first, and then you try and push. But yeah, that's what he's looking for here. Second. Okay, so finally we get this move. So yeah, he plays g6, like we mentioned, bishop to h6. Again, this is another kind of thing, right? Magnus Carlsen made a statement. Right now, it's become one of the new chess quotes. I can't remember it accurately, but it says, if you have 3 moves from castling, you are in trouble. If you have 2 moves from castling, it's 50-50. And if you have 1 move from castling, you're okay. Here, his opponent is many moves from castling, like you could say even 4 moves from castling, right? And this is just not... I won't be shocked if even white plays something like Castle's Queenside here. I won't be shocked. Because of the sheer pressure and discomfort you give to black here. Again, he doesn't have to do that, but you get the point, right? It's very difficult to make a move as as white. Queen e7 was expected, and the bishop developed. So he's going to castle kingside. Now his opponent has to make a move. We are probably going to expect like b6, bishop b7, and then castles queenside. So if truly his plan is to kind of mitigate or slow down white's development, you would really love to play this. Okay, maybe if he gets g6, he's gonna go this way. That would cause the opponent to play this, which is still consistently weakening the position, and then eventually he castles. But this allows, like, let's say this, then let's say we castle. Pawn push is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm looking at. Oh, okay, we have check first. Then I don't know what you play here, but possibly it's going to be this. Takes, takes, something of this sort. But then again, we still notice that this may not be the best move, but you still notice the problem here is that the king is still stuck in the center. So with all these moves, you still notice that the king is stuck in the center, and that's the issue he's facing here. It's difficult to get out of the center or to focus on castle. That's the issue here. I mean, the match to kind of watch out for fun is this, but I'm very interested in how Clinton goes about this attack. Okay, we have some moves. He should initiate the trade, yeah. Takes, and then okay, we looked at all this, yeah. So this is what we expect. Oh, but that I did not expect. I don't think he's gonna trade. Now, if he doesn't do that, that ends up in a draw. But his opponent is going to keep offering the trade, and that could end in a draw. I mean, that's still fine, right? Because you can go takes. The king is a little bit far from the center. Knight takes. If knight takes, you have the rook, and you have a pawn, right? Your opponent would have to take some time to develop, and then eventually there's something going to go on with this pawn. Right? This pawn is going to be like the weakness position. So I mean, there's still chess to be played. It's not so straightforward. He's winning. But he is a pawn up, which is the important part of this whole thing. If you refuse also to trade here, he may not even continue. He could do this. Nah, that's not even a problem. You just play bishop. Yeah. So I don't think that's the issue. I think you trade. If it's Clinton, I think you trade. I definitely do think you. He can make a pass pawn here. Especially after, like I'm saying, if he does indeed trade off here, sacrificing these pawns can help him create the pass pawn here. Again, you don't do it willy-nilly. You have to take your time and then look at the position a bit well. Oh, so we did, like I said, yeah. Again, you're not trying to take this. You're just going to hurt yourself if you do that. Actually, you can't do that, right? Just develop this way. If the queen comes in here, then you have this move. I don't know if it's a safe move, but you can hold on. That's the point I'm trying to make. You can hold on. There's this move for sure. Maybe then you just play pawn. I don't know if you want to do that. Yeah, you can do that because the queen defends, the rook defends. There is knight here though, which is very annoying, but maybe we survive. I'm looking for superficial moves here. But that'll be 2 points for Hasford if he does. Like, I'm sure that's what he's calculating. Can I survive if I allow this? I'm sure that's what he's calculating here. Actually, I missed that. Yeah, so if he uses the other rook, he can get back the pawn this way. Oh, actually, no, he doesn't even have to think about that. He can just block this way. But then there's pawn push. But then you just take it. Yeah. Oh boy, a lot is going on. Can he take it? Let me just look at the engine for this one. He can take it, but it's not advisable. Okay. Engine wants him to just retreat the bishop, and then that's about. Clinton traded off. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is where you'd want to. You have a slight edge. You don't want to stress yourself, right? You can even just quickly bring this rook into the game and play from there. If his opponent allows something like that, like he can play bishop here first. I was thinking about some funny line, but that doesn't exist. Bishop here, if takes, you are looking at takes here, and this is the problem. The problem is getting the rook active. So if you initiated the trade, you are helping your opponent more than you are helping yourself. Now, in as much as Clinton has the pawn up, it's a very weak pawn. That's the issue I think he's going to face. It's a very weak pawn. So I do think that it's not going to be a very straightforward thing. Akpa still can survive. Like, this can still end in a draw. I don't highly believe that that's the end of the game. Okay, so we've done an hour. We're going to go on a short 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll see how the positions develop. Don't go anywhere. If you want to still look at the games while I'm not around, you can use this link. And you can just let me know while I'm off, just for 5 minutes, who are you supporting in this tournament? Like, who are you looking to win? And I'll be back in a very short while. Anyone who thought I wouldn't be back early, you have been proven wrong. So we are back, and quite a number of things have changed. So let's quickly look at the current position, right? This is the game of Hasford, and he didn't go for the line I was talking about, which was taken here. Obviously, it's too much you have to calculate, especially, yeah, and this move is the reason why you have to calculate. And it's interesting that he realizes that. And why do I say that? You realize that if we had gone bishop takes, if you played this move, you're completely fine. But after this move, you have to like think of stuff, right? Because these types of things can happen. Rook takes here, and maybe the position can change. I'm looking at knight coming in here. I'm looking at queen coming in here. Like, so many things can happen in a short time. So again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen in this order, but you should take note of these things, right? So it makes sense that he wouldn't take it. B3 solving the big issue takes, and the point is you can bring the rook or you can bring the guy in. Yeah, take the pawn. And though Haspard is still up a pawn, can create a pass pawn here. There's still more chess to. Loglord doing very well holding here. Currently, if you are white, you are okay, but you're feeling a little bit of pressure because of this guy. But it's easily solvable. I think I even go like king up and jump in this way. I think I can even go there. Like, this is not something that would worry you if you're playing here as white. I don't know if you'd want to even attempt this because you are kind of like, yeah, I think you still be fine. Just double up. Yeah, so I mean, this is the only inconvenience you have, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm actually more interested in though the end games are very difficult, and since it's 90 plus 30, it's going to be a long game. I'm very interested in watching how they handle the end games, right? I'm actually more interested in that. Next game. Okay. Let's see what happens. So after B, he plays C. Yeah, exactly. And now he develops. Yeah. So wait, what? I see it. Yeah. So you can't take here because of the bishop. Bishop comes in here and just. And even if you're able to avoid it, you have to deal with this now. And your whole position is collapsing, right? Because takes, and then this, right? Your whole position collapses here. So he instead goes bishop to c4. Oh yeah, that I don't know about squinting there. That makes perfect sense. Bishop comes in, and you could even. Okay, no, that makes perfect sense. I was looking at this, stopping your opponent from castling, but then we've mentioned what happens if you allow this. And okay, here you're kind of okay. You are kind of okay. But then again, you want to keep maximum pressure on your opponent, which is why he goes back. Keep the pawn and stress your opponent out. So now the problem is where this knight is going to be. I mean, the obvious developmental moves here are going to be knight to e2, knight e2 to d4. Very straightforward with pressure here. That's like very like what you want to do. Other than that, there's a lot to happen. So you can see that Morris, this is the problem of playing Morris, right? If he knows you and he knows your style, I believe his prep is very good. The problem I believe of Morris is his middle game. I believe that his middle game is not strong. Reason being is that he puts too much emphasis on, I think I've mentioned it to him before, right? He puts a lot of emphasis on getting you in the opening, but then you notice that he starts slipping. Anytime I watch his games, like in tournaments and everything, like online tournament, maybe online he's just joking around, but mostly what happens is he has the dominant opening, but messes up the middle game. So I've always had the impression that he struggles in the middle game, right? Or I wish you weren't just passing through though. Are you at the award ceremony? Morning. Oh no, you're not a tertiary student. But are you at the ceremony just seeing what's also going on there? Yeah, so we have knight e5, then he just goes back to attack the queen. And now there's no issue. Now I think he's completely fine. The only problem is knight here. Is that what he plays? I think he could he have played this first? No. If he had played this first, there's going to be queen takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, check. He couldn't have played that first. And after the king moves, you can hold the position this way. Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. No problem. Queen a3. And what do we do here? Because we can't castle now. I don't know. Like, let me just confirm with the engine here. Should he have played knight check? No. He should have just gone. But right now the engine thinks that black is better, which is very interesting. And the top move is queen a3. So where did he err according to the engine? It's in where. No, the bishop move is not the problem. The queen. Where is the issue? Oh, like there's no way he was seeing that. Okay, fine. He could have seen queen takes, but takes here and then this move. I mean, that's like too much. Retreating moves are the hardest to see. But you get the point now, right? If he's slipping, it's mainly because he has forgotten the prep. But again, even if he has forgotten the prep, this is a position that will keep your opponent thinking. And from what we see, Warigo is actually doing the right thing. I was actually questioning Warigo because I felt like he was allowing too much. But now we see that he's actually, even though this looks bad, he's actually in the right place. Which is very funny. And again, I think this is the knight coming in here that's going to be an issue. Mind you, it's coming with check. So even if you make a Lakadiska move like this move is going to be an issue for you. It's really going to be an issue for you. So what do we do here? G4. G4 or knight E2. And like I'm saying, knight D3. Like, I was considering a funny line, like, even if you play knight here, what if we just castle? Because there's a possibility of bringing this here. And you still can't stop knight. That's, okay, maybe here you can actually stop knight. But you still have the initial move of this. And if you can stop your opponent from castling, I think that's a win. But yeah, it's a problem because once your opponent moves, then you have to deal with this, and that's not easy. Okay, so we did get knight D. Oh, he played bishop. The problem with bishop is that you allow pawn push. So after the knight develops with check, I don't know what you even play here. King up, and you can get hit with this. And your bishop has to move back again. Okay, maybe you'd be okay with that because you block the bishop from this side. But you make it very difficult for your knight to develop. Like, where's your knight developing to? Like, already see how the game gets shifted. Already see how the game gets shifted. That's the problem with playing such moves. Again, I believe he was doing very well in the opening, at least decent in the opening, with all the pressure that he was doing. But eventually he let it slip. Because like all this is just good. So it doesn't like c3. Okay, c3 is fine, but it prefers knight e2 in this position. Does it have anything to do with the rook? Like queen takes and then rook? Your opponent wins this, that's for sure. But then we have like knight jumps in. And now we can actually win this guy. We are not pressured by him anymore. Is this better? Yeah, this is actually even winning. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Um. Yeah, if you had played this and he takes rook c1, Angel is even recommending this move. Okay, the move here is kind of crazy. But yeah, I kind of see the point of it. I kind of see the point of it. Yeah, c3 seems like the straightforward move to make, but it's actually not the best move. Yeah, and I even made that mistake, right? So it's very easy to miss that. Interesting. Okay, sorry. How do we get c takes d4? Okay. So he placed the bishop there. We had a trade of bishops. I'm not liking how this is going because now there's already a hanging pawn here. And I may take with the queen. Actually, you can just take with the knight. Take with the knight and then redeploy the knight. This guy is not moving anywhere. This knight is not moving anywhere. Look, the father is disciplining the son for all the comments he made during phase one. The father is disciplining the son. He's playing his fatherly role. He's showing him what's what. Yeah, and here he breaks chess principle, right? Though, yeah, we know the knight and the queen work well together. We also know that it's not good to attack with just two pieces. But here you are seeing that these two pieces are doing the work. They are making Morris's position look like a joke. And this is one of the elements of chess taking place. King safety and activity. It's very amazing how he started and now the game has just dwindled into this. I want to be sure if the engine is like, oh, don't even take the pawn, it's not necessary. Let's see how Clinton's attack is going. Okay, thought this could happen, but I wasn't so sure. Oh. He allowed him to take. That's actually interesting. Huh. Like, I was thinking, okay, maybe pawn push is just wrong. But you're giving him the pass pawn. I don't know what that. That's crazy. That is a crazy line here. It's Clinton's move, right? I think he has a very simple idea here. And if you come in this way, there's just check. So yeah, like I mean, there is that, but after this, like, what's the point? You can't hold this pawn forever. Okay, no, you wouldn't want to do that. I'm letting it slip. At this point, black is winning. I'm letting it slip. But I think it has. I think it has something to do with, yeah. The check first is what you want to play. It's the follow up where I'm kind of struggling because you get this, you target this, you can defend this way, but you can get this check. Yeah, in this position, that makes like. Because what was the move I made here though? Check, he went, check, he goes here. So he has played that. The reason I played pawn push, the reason I played king here is because you don't want him to get too far forward. But maybe you can allow that. Because now you have takes here. And if he comes in here, you can check. And if he comes in here, you can you? Takes, king takes here. King comes in this way. No, king comes in this way here. King comes in this way here. And are we fine? I think this is a draw. No, it's a win. I'm very bad at chess. That may be the line we are looking at. So yeah, maybe we don't have to rush with that whole idea of bringing the king in. Like if he goes pawn push here, we don't have to rush with the king. We just don't have to rush. You would have to come in this way, and this allows it still allows this. And in this case, the king can't do what he did, run this way, because the pawn hasn't been pushed yet. You would have to go back one of these routes. You don't want to let it happen with check, so you can even just play this. And if pawn push, now you are safe, because now you can actually play this move. Check here, you can sidestep. The reason you don't want to come in here is because you don't want to give your opponent a chance to enter and start checking you from the back. So you can start with this. And now you are just going to win this pawn. And this is winning for white, right? Yeah. So yeah, this is Clinton, guys. So as I was mentioning Clinton, this is the guy, right? This is the guy. This is definitely the guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows for sure what he's doing. There's going to be 2 rounds today, in case anyone is wondering. But it seems, I don't know, they said the second round, from what I saw on chess result, they want the second round to start at 4. I can bet you that if they had a technical meeting beforehand, they are not going to agree to that time. It depends, right? It depends. Because it's likely that this is going to end by 1. Like this round is going to end by 1. And they may take like an hour or 2 to rest, or 2 hours to rest. They start by 3. So I'm trying to figure out what changed here. When I played against Akwanda, he was very annoying, trust me. Because I knew I was in a better position, but for some reason, he just kept making strange moves I'd never considered, and I started thinking I was losing. H3 is just fine, just in case. And now we have the pawn push. D3, trying to hold on any of these pawn pushes. The bishop finally comes into the game. Like these moves. When he made this kind of move in my game, it was a mistake. And I saw the way to punish it, but it was a scary line, so I didn't play it. I ended up drawing the game, but these moves annoy me. I don't think you want to play queen here. Pawn push just annoys you. There is like queen here, putting like making it hard for him to push this pawn forward. But you always have to deal with these kinds of moves. So I don't know. I don't know if he also wants to allow this. Can we then go f4, f5? Like this could 100% be possible in this position. And though the position looks like we've traded off material, an attack can just ensue here. And white's pieces are too crammed up to make a difference. Again, bishop here doesn't help the position. Pawn push here, I smile. Right, because we can still go pawn push. Pawn takes, bishop takes, queen takes. Or rook takes. Either one is fine. Yeah, so he did play queen b3. When you play Akwanda, don't look at him. Don't worry, I never looked at him. Not even once. Not even once. I was just wondering, like, why is he making the moves he's making? I've shown that game on stream. And if you want to see that game right now, you can just, those on the YouTube, you can just go and hit the live section. Sorry, you can just go to the video section and you see my game. I think it was round 1 of the President's Cup. Yeah, that's when I played against him. I stopped looking at the chess players a very long time ago. I stopped looking at their faces a long time ago. I learned that lesson early in my chess career. Some people have faked their body language. I'm not interested in falling for those tricks again. Wait. Oh, so he didn't go for this move. I think he doesn't trust it. Because I was thinking he could just play this move. Wait. Yeah, there's no sacrifice, right? Yeah. Let's see if... Is this move that bad? It's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. But with F4, it's not the best. Because yeah, I missed this completely. Yeah, this is what happens when you are not looking closely at the position. Yeah, but that would have been a nice idea if it could have happened. I mean, there's this kind of configuration I'm falling in love with recently. Let's just do something like this and bishop back. I don't know. I've started liking to put the bishop at the back rank while the rooks are connected. It's a very funny, but it's a very interesting line. I've been enjoying putting my bishop here on A8. It's one of the nicest things that I've been doing recently. It just fills me with joy. I don't know. You can start doing it. It just fills you with joy. Of course, your opponent is not going to allow. He's not going to just stand there with the queen. But yeah, it's something you could think about doing here. Just rook B8 and go from there. And let's look at Bernard versus Mr. Philip. Okay, Bernard has crawled his way back. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is, right? There's always a plan, but you're playing against someone who is also counter planning, right? He castles here, then we get pawn push. But that's an interesting, yeah. What? No, he didn't. He didn't. I was looking at this. He doesn't have this. This works only if your opponent decides to fall into it. But I think the move is just this. Can we make anything out of this? There's nothing in this position. There's nothing in this position. Is Biney playing? No, he did not qualify. This is phase 2. Top 5 from phase 1 qualified. Now, based on the standings, if anyone who is already qualified for phase 1 does not make their intention known to play, they are the next in line is taken, right? So that's how Daniel Loglo is playing. Funny enough, this is going to hurt Smart more, because if Smart won against David Ameku, but at the time we didn't know that Selikem was not going to be playing. Philip Selikem was not going to be playing. Now that we know that Philip Selikem was going to be playing, there's a higher chance that if he won his game, he would have been chosen. It's just not his week. It's just not his week. It's so bad. So sad. So Biney is not playing in this round. Simple answer. Yeah, so this game started in a setting where I was like, ooh, you can see the idea that he's going for is very nice, but then of course you are playing against somebody who also understands chess. I don't know. I think his plan is just simply to go F4. Yeah, you can't go F4 now because pawn push. The bishop's presence makes it hard. And if you go takes and your opponent takes back and you go F4, he is not going to take, he's just going to play pawn push. So that is the basis of this move. So is this possible? Bishop takes, and now you renew the threat because now you have pawn bishop. Your opponent just castles out of it, so I don't even see why you would want to bother yourself. I don't see why you'd even want to bother yourself with that. Yeah, once again, the reason I'm not live there today is how the tournament is being organized. There is it's 2 rounds. It's 4 rounds a week. We are playing 10 rounds. It's 4 rounds a week. So I'll play two. They'll play 2 rounds today, 2 rounds tomorrow. Then next week they'll play 2 rounds on Saturday, 2 rounds on Sunday. Then the week after they'll play the final 2 rounds, right? And to be moving back and forth with my equipment like that, I just can't do that. So I will be there for one of them, right? Like I'll be there for one Saturday and Sunday is what I'm planning. But I'll try to be there throughout the women's nationals because I think that one is happening in one fell swoop. Can we just play like bishop here first? I know the opponent can run away, but this prevents him from castling queenside. Trying to figure out some creative moves here. But bishop f5 is the move. Back to board one. Daniel Oglo is really struggling on time. Okay, he goes backward. I was recommending going forward, but I think he doesn't like this idea. Because you lose this guy. And they have chess to play. Like I said, behind the end game, it's going to get boring from this point. I still expect Hasford to do very well here. He's well versed in these openings. You don't want to try this. I think in this position, if I was Daniel, I would take because you double the pawns. I think I can deal with that better. Okay. I haven't really... yeah, you can start with this first. Okay. I haven't really considered that. So G6. Okay. So after what? Takes, he brings bishop back. He doesn't take... Because I think you take and then there's a queen and then... No, actually, no, that's not the point. I think you just go here first. That's actually... Okay, but we didn't see the captures of this guy, like we mentioned. He adds more pressure because there's a weakness in this position. So even though he's not taking this, it's still a possibility, but he has increased his possibilities or his chances by 1. We have f3. Again, if you can capture this, this guy goes. I even think like you can even do this and then just jump back. I don't know. If he wants to go greedy, he might play this move. Because takes, and then this. All he would have to pray is that this doesn't create a counter-attacking chance for his opponent. That's all he has to pray about. But now his position is good enough that he can focus on. Sorry, I said he can try and focus on. Still questionable. So Morris has just been counter-attacked on. His opponent just did not fall for the attack. And now he's in a bad time. He is in a very, very bad time. Okay, we yeah. So we got this. We got this. We got this. Yeah. Okay, wait. What? Ah, okay. I was thinking that he made the mistake I was talking about. Yeah. So we get this, and you do have pawn push in this position. It's not so. I mean, pawn push here. Like you just have the time. you just you just have the time. Again, you can still go pawn. Oh no, you can't go pawn push here because there's check, and you are entering into checkmate territory. I still feel like that's the move you play, right? Um, if you come in this way, like it's going to be very difficult. Eventually, the rook may have to move back or something. Like you can't get to checkmate the king. Again, you don't have that like Zook Swang position where the king is forced to make a bad move, because instead of making a bad move, he just wants to continue trying to promote the pawn. And eventually you'd have to give up on your assault because it doesn't work. So I still believe white is completely fine here. I don't know if he's going to make a move I'm not considering here, like maybe this, instead of pawn push. Though I believe pawn push is actually the better move to make. Um, I think pawn push is the better move to make. And I'm completely wrong. Now it's a drawn position according to the engine. That is funny. Well, I was wrong. But Prince has to see it. So where did he err? Check. Oh, this is the same. Wow, there's a difference here. Takes, king takes, and now the king comes in. And we discussed this position. I was saying he should actually go this way because he would like to come in here. And this was winning according to white. I saw something Clinton didn't see. Yes. Oh, but it's hard to calculate. I mean, I had the engine, but yeah. I don't know what he would have played without the engine. What I would have played without the engine. Probably what I said. But anyways. So here you should have gone pawn push. Right? And like I said, if you go this way, there's still pawn push. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, my mind is busted. After playing bad chess today, I'm recommending good moves. Damn. Okay, I'm just happy for myself. Yeah, so I don't know if it's the fact that you can just keep checking, rinse and repeat and keep checking. I don't know if that's the case. But yeah, engine believes it's a draw. Now, it doesn't look like a draw to the human beings on the board, unless maybe they are very strong enough to tell. But if he's looking at the position the same way I am looking at the position, he might play this move. And here is when the whole checking endeavor begins, right? Because your opponent is going to try and threaten. I'm just showing you the ideas, right? And he can just keep following you. Why not here? Check. And you take, and oh, okay. Yeah. It's just going to keep going on like that. He'll take everything, but that's about it, right? So I think that is what's going on here. Very sad position. Oh boy. I feel sorry for Clinton. But I still don't think he's going to lose this. This move is a very interesting move. At least I think it is. Okay, no, it doesn't work the way I'm thinking. I was looking at the way you can ride and like hide over here. Hmm. A4 is actually one of the top engine moves, and he plays it now. A5, sorry, and he plays it now. This position is going to be like a very like long position, and that's the way. Like, oh look, like the guy put me through the ringer. But if anyone can put down the drama, it's these guys. Like phase one, he was just doing the most unbelievable stuff you could ever see. But if anyone can put him down, it's these guys. Kicking the knight out makes it easy to make other moves, or you can even target this square. That's what the rook is targeting. Again, you don't want to play queen to c2 because of pawn push. Has he made a move? No. I still don't like this move. Like you could make this move, but I still don't think this move. All that. I still don't see a strange, but like you can't play it now, but maybe in the near or far future. Let's say we have this, and then we jump in here with that. Yeah, you just lose the bishop. And for this is an issue. Even if you initiate with the knight, you are still going to end up with a very bad position. I don't know. Pretty interesting. Okay, so we did get the f6. He plays it here. F4, sorry. Again, we mentioned that f4 just allows e4. Why would he allow that? Why would he allow that? The opponent can play pawn push and then castle. Again, like, he can't castle. Oh, like, what is his point? Then we castle. And what have you achieved? Like, the position just seems like it's falling apart here. Oh, it just takes, not even this. Wait, so what's the issue with this? Okay, queen comes in. We've looked at this. And now you take. Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay. So he does see that. That's what happens if his opponent plays pawn push. He simply retreats the bishop to attack the queen. The queen has to stay defending. So it moves down one square and then you take. So why doesn't that work? Yeah, because of the location of the queen. Because in this case, the queen is being defended by the king. But once you make this slight move, the queen moves up one square and is no longer defended by the king. So it's just removing the defender of the queen in a long-term view, and that allows you to win the queen. But again, you're giving up material, like a lot of material for that. I mean, it's still a queen, so you can't dispute that. And second of all, the king is not castle, right? Because anywhere you move, you get hit with this, yeah. Anywhere you move at all. But he still has to be careful. It's not straightforward. But I still would choose whoever has the queen. Just because the rooks are not connected. Especially because the rooks are not connected. Are we going to get rook b through? Rook b2? Keeping the pawns aligned? Keeping the pawns defended, sorry. Hmm. Okay. Just a retreating move, maybe trying to solidify other stuff, I guess. Like he doesn't want to play rook b1, rook b2 because you're kind of limiting the scope of the rook, which could be much more active. That could be the only explanation I have for this. Because coming in this way is not really anything. I don't know if he wants to. A pawn push is a possibility. Again, it's still something you have to defend. So I don't get. Just wait for a few more moves here. For this game, the action is just dying down. Hasford is going to just use his pawn advantage to try and win the game. Gold. At this point, he does. Yeah, so he did play f5, takes d5. He was going to take with the rook either ways. Why d5? D5 is just wrong. I could be missing something, but d5, couldn't you have made another move to help you develop the position rather than d5? Because like, yeah, he was going to play that move regardless. Is the positioning any big deal? I don't see that. Because if anything, if you play this move, you kind of give your opponent the ability to do this and target your queen. Because now it's in a square where it can be defended by the queen, as compared to if it was here and you played this and you took. Because now you can't just say, oh, I'm going to make this move. You even have an extra move here. I don't know what I'm missing about this whole thing. I don't know why you play d4. Right, yeah. D5 just feels wrong. Yeah, D5 just feels. Actually, D5 just makes his position completely worse. I don't get why he would make that move. Yeah, and I mean, it's slipping. It's slipping here for Morris. So, guys, um, learn your middle games as well. Again, no shade at him. He's a very strong player. I'm sure he beat me like 9 out of 10. But that's what I feel is the weakness in his gameplay. I could be wrong, but anytime I see him play, he dominates in the opening and lets everything slip in the middle game. Sometimes, I don't know. I could 100% be wrong about that. I don't know. But like, give him some time, right? Give him some time. He would definitely fix any weakness he has. He would definitely fix it. Just needs to. At least his ability to prep is good. I'm doing what is called damage control. You've spoken ill about the person, now you have to speak well about the person. So the person, when the person sees your comment, the person doesn't go, "Oh, he was speaking trash about him." It's called damage control. But I mean, I think it's something he has to work on. It's something he has to work on. Um, yeah, Clinton, how did we get here? What? Oh, he's still thinking about this position. Okay. I thought we had a change in the position, but he's still thinking about this position. I'm sure he has realized that he's drawn it. He's good enough to realize that, like, I don't put it against him. But the fact that he missed that is actually very interesting. So nothing has happened here. Next game. Okay, so we did eventually get this move. Yeah, we did eventually. So why didn't he why didn't he attack the bishop? Or the bishop is not that big of a deal to. No, I'm done. This pawn is hanging. Okay. I keep forgetting that this pawn exists. Yeah, so that's why he can't play the knight jumps in here. Okay. But we see what is happening here, right? Akwanda is very locked in. Now, Akwanda plays a Scandinavian, so he's no slouch. Like, he is used to having this. Like, if you've played a Scandinavian before, you know that this is very normal. Like, this is something you experience on a day-to-day basis. So, yeah. Bertolos, and you are late. You and Kojoaka are always late, but today Kojoaka is earlier than you. Are you guys really fans of the channel? You should be here early. The fans should be early. They should wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. and sit down waiting for the notification. Oh boy. I don't have the gift of gab, don't worry. I don't have the gift of gab. If I was like Raina, is his name Raina? Shingeki no Kyojin. If I was like Raina, I would give a speech right now and everybody would sub, everybody would donate, everybody would become followers of this channel. That's the Raina gift, right? The guy who said my soul just raw, my soul just rage, some. I've not watched AOT in case you're wondering. Um oh boy. Um I cracked myself up. Okay. Something is not right. Something is slipping. Something is slipping. This is the human part of it, right? This is the human part of chess. I'm having the benefit of having an engine because I don't know what he. I don't know if he actually did. You are always blaming Telecel. All you have to do is switch from Telecel. I don't know why you keep blaming Telecel. It's your fault. It's your fault. Stop blaming Telecel and take accountability. Take accountability for your actions. Take accountability for your action. I think he saw this. I do for sure think he saw this. And now we have castles queenside. Do we have bishop takes, whether queen or whatever takes? Then we go pawn. That's just a bad move. Yeah, he's losing to his dad. He messed up the middle game. I'm beginning to believe. No, I'm beginning to believe. I believe that he prepped the entire line against agenda. He prepped the entire line against him. And when it gets to the point where it's possible he had not prepped, then the game started to slip from there. I think that's what happened to him. I personally believe that's what happened to him. I personally believe that's what happened to him. But here, I think again the problem with Mr. Phillips' position is this is the pawn structure. I don't know how he plays with. You're behind like 2 minutes. Damn. And just start timing when I respond to your comment. You may hate it, but switch to MTN. Sky X, is this Sky X or what? SpaceX or Skynet or whatever. It's not very strong upload speed, but the download speed is abysmal. From where I've seen it, like it was at Domida that I checked one out. Okay. This is just like, oh, so he finally develops the knight there, and then we have this. Now your queen is hanging. He can resign from here. There's no shame in resigning here. Maybe this alone you don't want to see. Interesting. You can actually play takes here because your opponent can't take here. And you can use the momentum to get you to some of these squares. That's interesting. No shame in resigning here. No shame. No shame. This is just too strong. Oh, yeah. Clinton has realized that he's drawn. He's trying to find a way out of it. And it's almost impossible. If you try to go this way, you are going to lose. Right? And try and come back later. You're going to lose. I think maybe this is still drawish. Even if this happens, this is still a draw, which is what the position is, a draw. And yeah, I don't think all my moves are the right recommended moves, but yeah. Yeah, so now knight jumping in here is definitely a good move because this knight has been very inactive. But I'm kind of wondering, would I really want to? Because this bishop itself is not doing anything. Like, it's literally blocked out of everything. So even if I was able to get my knight to f5, would I want to trade my knight from my opponent's bishop? I feel like that just helps him. If anything, knight f5, and then we go for this e5 idea we've been hinting at for a very long time. Again, your opponent can't trade everything here because he's lagging behind on this. Actually, that doesn't work. He can't play d4 still. Okay. We are at the hour mark. We're going to go for another 5-minute break. We'll be back in a jiffy. Stay tuned. More interesting chess. Some of the games are rounding up. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Be back in 5 minutes. Okay, so we see the resignation here. Josh Tego resigned after the what happened here? He went for a trade of that was just not okay. That was a sad one. That was actually a sad one. Very nice game, but it started slipping from here. Again, you can't blame him too much. This move, even I would have played it, right? It seems to hold everything, but you just have to realize that you can let this pawn go, and if your opponent makes the mistake of taking, the queen is misplaced, and you can gain the activity from here, right? Right? You get the pawn back. The position is just like fine, but you have to notice that that's the important part. You have to notice, and that's when most people would err. So yeah, can't blame him so much. Let's see. Ashford is now pushing his pawn majority. Taking is not a good idea. Actually, maybe be able to. I don't know if you don't. I think you don't. Actually, no, you would want. But this is looking drawish. If you trade like this, it's looking drawish. Yeah. So, what is he looking for? Rook back. Yeah, that holds the position. Yeah, allowing the trade with the rook in front of the pawn just feels bad. It feels like white is the one actually who's struggling rather than black. But that's the only option here. He has to trade off. So that's Hasford just forcing the line now. He has what he needs to win, so he's just going to convert from there. So he has to be precise. Like, this is the clinical thing we are talking about. Oh, he goes for this line, allowing the ticks. Again, like I said, pawn push. If he follows up, pawn push. That can. No, it wasn't this exact scenario. I think it was checks first. You go back. If the king goes takes, pawn push, yeah, pawn, that kind of thing. And it's still a draw. Actually, this is not a draw. This is winning for black. But still, it's winning for white, rather. The mind games are bad. I forgot what I calculated for us to get to this. We just go this way, rather. Pawn push too. Why is this a draw? But this is actually winning for black. Okay, so check, come this way. Oh, we move forwards. Okay. Clinton in trying to hold the position is rather causing the position to be destroyed. Okay. That is actually not what I expected to see today. I certainly did not expect to see this happening to Clinton today. That's crazy. he he's fighting for a chance, and that's commendable. But I think he's seen the line I saw. But he's after check here, when he moves his king, he's going to realize why he shouldn't. If he doesn't see it, you see it now. This game is literally has nothing is happening in this game so far. Okay, still like okay. He has renewed the whole thing now. The the pawn still can be pushed forward, and now the knight can develop here. I think that was best, because if he had played if he had played what I had said, which was this, for example, yeah, the point is this: if takes, this is going to be a bit of a problem. You disconnected for a bit, right? Right, I believe you. We all know you went to watch the Tata Steel. Oh boy. Why did black play bishop d5? Bishop d5? If you're asking why the bishop came in this way and why it's not here, it's because it's holding this position. That's the first one. And it's not hanging, in a sense. Secondly, the bishop here was kind of impeding the rook's position over here. So that's why he would want to bring the bishop here, because he's going for more of a queenside assault, and he needs more pieces staring towards the queenside and towards the kingside. Why didn't black play d4? Black can't play d4. In the position we have, black can't play d4. Nope, that is the Ghanaian flag. Takes, you can go, for example, takes, there's knight takes. I don't think knight takes is where you want to go, but there's pawn takes, there's bishop takes. Reveal this. It's actually, there's an interesting move here, because if you go takes here, I do have this. There's bishop takes. Okay, no problem. Yeah, but d5, d4, the more I look at it, the more it's not playable. What? Bro abandons the queen side and is now coming towards the king side. So we are going to eventually see this in the future. That move came out of nowhere. I mean, you should expect it, but that came out of nowhere. You don't take back the pawn. Okay, so he takes, you don't take back. Then what do you play here? Bishop. Still don't see it. If the queen comes in here, there's obviously this. So let's tie the queen. Now we have pawn push. Before the rook moved. Okay. Again, take, you don't take it back. I think we can still play this, because even now, this is even worse. I don't think d5 is possible. I don't know the line you are. If you can write the full notation you're looking at, because it's not the whole time I'm looking at this d4 move, it's just not working. The same issues, but I mean, I don't know. But g5 comes out of left field. G5 is a quick switcher, because you can see that all of white's pieces are on the dark or are on the queen side. Then all of a sudden he's like, I'm not going for the queen side, I'm going for the king side. Actually, didn't he just have... No, it doesn't work. Oh, I missed it. It only works if he takes this way. Yeah, now I do expect that this move is going to come in. No, you're not winning the rook. You aren't winning the, because after the knight takes, the rook is now defended. That's what I was looking at. That's the problem. That's the problem with it. But g5 is out of left. Like, I don't even expect this move. I do think we are going to get e5 with the way the position has developed. I don't know if he's going to go h5 g4 or if he's going to go g4 instantly. Because g4 instantly, for example, let me just make a random move. I want a random move. So g4 instantly, if takes, I think you can ignore it and simply go this way. After d4, okay, wait. After d4, if he takes once and we play bishop here, I can see this with the knight comes in with bishop takes here. I don't know. You would have to write down your notation because I'm not seeing how that's plausible. Like, I feel like white has to make a mistake for that to happen, unless you are saying it's the other way around. Before the rook moved. Ah, I see it. I see it now. Yeah, but opponents. Okay, let's say it takes. We take this way. If knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. Sorry. Still, I don't see. I still don't see it. Like, is there a way? Okay. It's saying in this position we take. Our opponent takes with his knight, and we go. Okay, I mean he's not seeing that. He's definitely not seeing that. He's definitely not seeing. I'm sorry, but he's definitely not seeing that. The dark square bishop skewer. Okay, we start with the dark square bishop skewer. This is why the engine is recommending that you take this way. That way you prevent the dark square bishop skewer. Because now if you take here, I can take here. You're screaming, bro. I'm struggling myself. But yeah, again, so if he does play the wrong move, which is this, we play the skewer. Oh, I'm so dumb. Yes. If he plays this line, he wins the rook. Yes, I think I mentioned that already. Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make here is the point is if you do that, this is what happens, and there's nothing going on there. I'm sorry, I mentioned it that yeah, you win the rook. I'm saying that's not good for white. If white is to like do this. Oh wait, oh, what was I saying? I think I missed something. I was saying that black cannot play d5. Yeah, and I was looking at this line, and I was saying the reason why. Okay. Yeah, so black can play d5. Okay. I get the point now. Black can play d5. Okay, black can play d5. It's just that this is actually the move that stops everything. If you play this move, then d5 is a justified good move. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot what I was talking about. It's called streaming. You naturally forget what you were talking about. Yeah. I was saying my argument was that d4 my argument was that d4 is bad for black and black cannot play it, and Beto is trying to make me understand that you can play d4 as black. And in my mind, as I'm playing d4, I'm saying that d4 doesn't work for white, and that's how I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm thinking about it in the wrong way. Yeah, when he moved the light squared bishop, d4 was possible. Oh, okay, so that's here. I'm talking about here. Yeah, I don't know if d4 is actually possible. Because takes, and then you just jump in. Or, sorry, takes, and you can just take this way. And then bishop comes in. So maybe you are talking about like takes, bishop immediately comes in here. I think that's what you are talking about. Yeah, I think that was actually possible. I don't know if there's like some intermezzo move here, but yeah, it's actually possible here. True. You're not wrong. Yeah, you're actually correct there. Yeah. The story of my life. But here we are with g4. So we did get g4. You said before. Okay, Berto, he could have played d4. Let's just agree that he could have played d4 in any situation. But the point is, his opponent should play the right responses. I get the point you're trying to make is that if the bishop had not moved and then he played d4, you don't have bishop takes. I think that's the point you're trying to make. He doesn't have bishop takes because there's no captures here by the rook, right? I think that's what you're trying to see. But we get the whole point. The conclusion of the matter is this: d4 could have been played. I was wrong in saying d4 could not be played. Woo! That ends the whole thing. But now a move that I said would be played. He plays g4 instantly. But what is his opponent play? His opponent took the pawn, huh? Is he immediately going to abandon this and come here? Or after takes, he's going to come in here first and then go this way with the rook coming in. I don't know if you want to do it in that order. I think you'd want to take first. Yes, I agree. I like black is the one who's winning here. I do think that Akwanda is not the Akwanda we know. I think he's slowed down. I could be wrong. But in my game against him, I did not feel the pressure I would normally feel from playing Akwanda. I feel like maybe he's growing older or something. He's not. Maybe I could be wrong. As I say this, the tournament has not reached anywhere. He could just come back and then make me look stupid. But I feel like he's not of the level that he was some years ago. So I mean, David Adriama is also the one who's causing him to make mistakes. But yeah, I feel like on a normal circumstance, maybe I'm also looking down on David Adriama because he has been playing excellent chess quite recently. So it could just be that David Adriama knows what he's doing. But it could also be that Akwanda is not the Akwanda we know. Because currently, if you look at his position, it's very bad. He's very tied down. Very tied down. I mean, it's just at first he was just like this. It's just where the pawn is right now. But he's very tied down right now. Yeah, Clinton made the blunder there. Clinton was drawing in this position. He realized that he was drawing and he was trying to find a way to win. And I think he was expecting this. And here maybe he has a chance. Right? But he erred in his calculation. And now he sees. Rook endgames, yeah, they're definitely insane. But he shouldn't have taken that risk. Like the kind of player, like if me, I made that mistake, I've mentioned it like I suck at rook endgames. But knowing how skilled he is, he should have seen that coming. Because you allow this rook in, you are definitely going to lose these two guys. And there's always going to be a looming threat of the checkmate. I was thinking that because you have this resource of pawn push, it's not going to be a big deal. But the engine declines my reasoning because with the checks and with the tempo, you are going to be developing. And eventually, once the pawn gets to this square, your loss is inevitable. And that will happen before you are able to get your pawn to the queen. How did we get into this? Like, what are these guys doing? Are we just going to play this? Queen takes, takes, and you lose, right? You simply lose here. Yeah, the checkmate threat is too great, yeah. And it comes instantly. Oh, I didn't see this guy was hanging. I was too focused on the fork. Okay, so takes, then takes here. Probably we'll see this. Takes. If queen takes, you don't have this threat because there's just checkmate. So yeah. Unless Philip makes an unexpected move that I wasn't thinking about. Okay. I don't expect any other move than rook takes. I don't expect any other move than rook takes. Any other move will shock me. Hasford doing Hasford things. I remember somebody was talking to me about Hasford the first time I ever met him. He said, look, if Hasford gets a pawn, he will hold on to the pawn and beat you with that pawn. Oh boy. He can slip up. Check here would be a no. Check here would not be a slip up. No, it would be a slip up, yeah. But he's completely fine because if you go back, he can just correct his mistake. Right? He can play something like pawn push and correct his mistake. I mean, it's over. Yeah, it's just d3. My point is, here is not the best move. Wait, it just loses? He can go this way? Oh, that actually shocks me. I was thinking that he can't actually go that way. Because it's like pawn push, oh, the king. The king. Oh. Okay. That's crazy. But he definitely sees d3. D3 is very straightforward. D3 he can't like play pawn push. This is checkmate. So D3 he has to move, and possibly this is what's gonna happen. And that's about it. Like once this happens, that's the end of it. Pawn push. Sorry. Actually going all the way back may not be the way out. The pawn is not going. The pawn is not advancing. This is the game that's going to keep us here for sure. First it was David Ameku, now it's David Adriama. Is that really a good idea? Takes a check. King takes, queen takes. Let's see, queen takes, rook takes. Doesn't white just recover from here? Okay, he has this move. It doesn't do anything. I feel like white has recovered. No, we can't go this way. We still can't go this way. We have to go back. In case you're wondering, it's checks. These checks. I don't know. I guess feel like this helps white. I'm wrong. It doesn't help white. No, sorry. I just feel this helps black. Why was I saying that helps white? I just feel like it helps. No, it helps white. No, wait. What am I saying? Allowing this is what I feel is wrong. Why am I saying that helps white? Because, yeah, he infiltrates and everything. Yeah, like, why would you give your opponent that opportunity? I don't know. Something feels off. I thought it was white's move, so I was like, oh, we just take, and then we can take here, and then the bishop comes in, the queen comes in here. But suddenly I'm like, no, something's going on here. Bernard Anhuere. Oh, he didn't play snap takes? Why? What else is there? Yeah, that's why I'm confused. Like, nothing else exists. This just helps your opponent. Like, why would you want to allow your opponent to have this? Ah, if you push the pawn now, your king is cut off. And you don't want your king cut off in the rook and pawn endgame. So I think the move is going to be this. Takes pawn push. Nah, that doesn't help him. Maybe here. Because here takes take. Still, I don't like the position in here. I still don't like the position in here. Guys, if you haven't, remember to support the stream by subscribing, liking. And for Twitch, you can always subscribe. It does help me out monetarily. Okay. Okay. Okay, we are done. We are done. This game is over. Congrats to Prince Akpa. He came to beat Clinton. Though Clinton was the one winning, let's not throw that aside. Clinton was definitely the one winning, but Prince Akpa, in his desire to not draw the game, he ended up losing, which is sometimes what happens. You have to agree when you are lost, right? Sometimes when you are lost, you are lost. You don't have to go the extra mile. So when you are drawn, you are drawn. You don't have to go the extra mile. And his position is not the Magnus Carlsen position where you are squeezing water out of stone. Oh, that's an interesting try. But I think after the king comes in here, you don't. Well, maybe you do. There's something here. Rook check, right? Rook check, and then you promote into a queen. Yeah, rook check, and you promote into a queen. The point is, if you come in this way, then we repeat. I don't know if this is a win for white at this point. It is a win for white at this point. But at this point, you just go for the check and then yeah. The game can still turn around. Okay, he sees. Once he has seen this, it's up. That's about it. There's nothing more he can. If he didn't see rook e1, that was the end. Like Clinton can bounce back, but he sees it. I mean, very straightforward though. Congrats. We are starting not with draws, but with action. But Clinton is not going to end here. I think after we get the promotion and we get rook takes, he's going to try and promote these pawns. But once the king steps into the defense, I don't think he can do anything about it anymore. The king would have to stay. This is the sad part. I think this is just winning. Am I right? No, I'm not. The rook can take care of them. The rook can take care of them. This is actually clear cut. The rook can take care of them. This move is actually very interesting from the engine. You know, I was saying pawn push, but this move is actually very interesting because you are immediately trying to cut off the king from joining the pawns. And I think you would actually want to go this way in that regard. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah, you would. But you could go this way, but the point is you allow this. And now pawn push puts you in a conundrum. Yeah, after king up, then there's nothing. After king up, there's nothing. So you'd have to, for example, go like this. Here, you still can't play king up. The position is eventually going to get tied up, but before I can even make a pawn push. It's not. I think this is just clear cut. Normally, I would try and believe, but I think this is just clear cut. No move here. This is the kind of move I was hoping he wouldn't play. I get it, but it's risky. Black is better. In the previous game, yes, black is better. No disagreement there. I think we have takes, queen takes, bishop. I mean, you can't lose them. I'm not denying that, but this is too winning. Like it's too winning. Eventually, you would have to waste a move as white, right? And that'll be these pawn moves. And eventually, the pawns will get locked up, and your king will have to leave the defense. That's what's happening. Yeah, maybe if they were like here, then you here, even here, if maybe they were like here, I would agree with you. Here, I would more or less agree with you, but even here, I don't agree so much. Okay, goes back with the bishop immediately because the opponent was threatening checkmate. Again, trading down leads into a drawish endgame, and these guys don't want to draw, so possible we'll see this move. I'm not so sure if you have enough time to make a move like this. Okay. The games are concluded except these games by Adriama. Wait, what? We check here. Check. Ah, king can come in this way. Do we have this move? It's too slow. I believe it's too slow. Knight d3. He doesn't get the fork, but it's there. Rook takes. Three-step checkmate. I don't think it works. Here, here, here. It doesn't work. Don't worry. Just this alone stops it. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Uh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is actually. I don't know why I recommended b6. What about bishop here? Hmm. Oh, okay, we do have this. But you take in that regard. That's what I'm wondering about this move. But if your opponent goes like this, no, he won't take like that. Let's say he goes this way. You can go pawn push. Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't see. Is Clinton's game over yet? Okay. Yeah, and this is the point, right? Takes, and you are not fast enough, right? Actually, this could be a draw. Taking here could be a draw. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, I was thinking the king would actually be able to deal with these guys. I'm wrong. Okay. So he's going to go this way. Then we are going to get like a rook back. The point is, if you promote, you're going to lose it. So something along the lines of this. Check. You can come in this way. Check. You can come in this way. Check. You can come in this way. At this point, you are drawing the game, aren't I, right? Yeah, why am I checking still? You just come in this way, sorry. Then you just trade off. Yeah, and then we still have this one. Why was I doing that strange forcing a draw line? Doesn't work. But this is what he's going to play. To keep it in check, you simply take some steps back. Even if he tries to come forward, it doesn't work. Because now you just lose it. So you would have to like go in the other way. You can come in this way. Or even we can even just come in this way. You have to still maintain your defense over it. King comes in this way. Let's say this. King comes in this way. Uh, If you promote, you take, gain takes, the game is over. That's about it. You don't gain anything. Just lose. It's so annoying that you go through all this and this is how you win, right? He's aware of it. He's aware of it. There's no way Clinton is not aware of all this. There is no way Clinton is not aware of all this. He needs his opponent to slip, and that's not happening. Yeah, all he has to do is just get this. That's all. Like regardless of how you do it, like even if it's like this, and you start this way, it's still the move. It's still lost. Yeah. And now we have the trade and the game ends. Unless of course Warrigold is too scared to win his pawn. But even if the first time he checks him again, right? Warrigold is eventually going to notice that he can just take the pawn. And look, if yeah, like I said, he doesn't even have to hurry up. You can do whatever you want. The mistake would be takes and anything like this. I'm not even sure if this is yeah, it is. That is what's gonna happen. It doesn't take. Mm. Hi, he can resign. He can resign. He can resign. Resign. He was winning it. That's painful, right? He was winning this position here. It's sad to see that that's what the position came to, but he managed to get the pawn up, and he was winning this position. What he failed to see was this line. And look, I was missing this line as well, right? Not to pop like honk my own horn or whatever that statement is. It's easy to miss this. It's very easy to miss that, like after the sorry. It's very easy to miss that after this, you are winning. You might think, oh, my opponent gets to mine as well, and I don't get to his. Like you might be thinking this, and you'll be like, oh, this is draw. Or was it Minu? I thought it was Minu. It's very sad that this is how the position came to. But it's very easy to assume that in your mind that this is what's going to happen, and that's why you wouldn't play. So I can fully understand him misunderstanding or misseeing the position there. It's very understandable how he would do that. King B2 just makes you resign. There's no more hope in the position. And again, this is not online bullet where you can play this and your opponent has pre-moves takes here. That doesn't happen here, right? Why has nothing happened in this game so far? Oh wait, sorry, nothing has not happened in this game. But the king has slowly developed itself forward. Wait, doesn't this just allow pawn push? Or he's gonna come in this way. Then if we come in this way, then he's gonna come in this way. That's plausible. But then if you do this, now this move actually is a possibility. Because check doesn't work as much. If you come back, I just go takes. You lose. You're French. You are French? Okay. I'm sorry, the only French I remember was in primary school. If I'm reading what you're saying correct, if I'm translating you correct, it's like is English is not a first language. And the only French I know is the French that everyone knows. Comment ça va? I don't even have the accent for it. Uh, I've even forgotten how to ask for someone's name in French. Can you imagine that? I know quel âge as-tu is what age are you? Comment ça va? Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle, yeah. Comment t'appelles-tu? Yeah, though, again, I'm using my Ghanaian accent to speak French. I don't have that raw sound that they produce when they are talking. Oh boy. Yeah. And there's nothing. Like, oh, okay, wait. So we had some moves. Oh, so he okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, and remember I said this was not desirable. Now it is because of the king's position. The king can trade positions with the pawn. And like for example, a move like this. He did. He did. He did. We've had some very bad turnaround games, guys. We've had some very bad turnaround games, right? He started very well. I was praising his opening prep, and it devolved into this. So that's kind of like sad. Yeah, so my point is the king can switch defense with the rook, and the rook is always going to have to give itself for the pawn, if that makes any sense. So this rook can leave the defense and focus on this. That way, this king cannot do any like life-threatening stuff. And eventually, the king is going to trade off for the rook, and the king is going to come back. We're going to have an extra pawn. We're going to promote that pawn, or we are going to just have a rook against our opponent in the end game. It's a very straightforward win. At first, the king was somewhere like here, and the rook would have been here with the pawn here. That's just too far away. That's just too far away. But here is completely fine. The king joins the defense. The rook remaneuvers to a different square in the position. Yeah, we can give that to you. Like pawn push. Pawn push, you take, I come in this way. You come back, I promote. You check me, I don't give it. Come. There's nothing here. I don't see the trick. Maybe there's a trick I'm not seeing. I don't see it. Again, I'm saying if you do take here, that's the problem. But like if you do come in here, there is still this. Check. Oh, but the timing for the calls are very bad. I'll have to call after this. I think then we can hide our way this way. But I think he would be happy to see this because he can just go in this way. Okay, so there's something to be done here. Can we get a Lucina? Okay, so maybe we don't jump in with this immediately. How do we avoid that error? Okay, we can go this way. If he comes in here, we can come in this way. And that's the whole thing. Now the king can safely come in this way. There's no problem. You take, I play pawn push. You come in here, I come in here. Like I said, that whole position. I think pawn push, you just go rook takes instead of pawn takes because that allows the king. And after takes, you have this. And your opponent cannot do much about it. Yeah, so that's what exactly what if you go straight away, you kind of create a problem for yourself. You might still be winning, but you kind of create a problem for yourself. You want to switch the defensive responsibilities to the king. Pawn push makes it hard to switch the responsibility. You will be able to, but it's going to take some. Is Clinton still playing? What? What? Again, black is still winning, but what? 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 Yes. Wait, he didn't go here? I thought he went here. The king is going too far. Come on. Is he still fine? I think he's still fine, right? I still think he's fine. Takes here. Here. If he takes, we have here. Pawn push here. King takes. Yeah, then this is a draw. Wait, have we missed something? Okay, he's still winning, but how does he win this? Okay, so wait. Why does it want us to promote here? We can't promote here. That just loses the game for us. A4 is a crazy move. But I'm thinking like here, then he comes back. Exactly what I'm thinking. Then pawn push. And this is how we win it. These moves that the engine is recommending, I just don't see how that works. But this is getting close, right? I don't see the point of bringing the king here. Again, like I said, it's that calculation in the mind that the king will take my pawns. The king won't take your pawns, but it's that calculation. Until you sit down to actually make that calculation, you always think that this king can win the pawns, and that's where the problem is. But he's losing regardless. Clinton is losing. He'll figure it out. It's just like, just notice it. Okay, so like we said, the rook comes in and now you switch the defensive position. Your opponent taking here doesn't serve you in any way shape. You can even just play pawn push. If he comes in this way, then just... That's how you go about it. Man won one pawn and that's what he used. Oh, he did go this line I was looking at. I didn't think it worked though. Because the mistake your opponent makes is this, and that's what gives you the edge you are looking for, right? He blocks, I don't know in what way, but this is the edge you are looking for against you. But I noticed that you come in. Okay, that's the other thing. Yeah, so he is going for this. Let's just hope this doesn't come to bite him in the future. He's trying to double and then checkmate here. I don't know if you can actually do this. Get in. I think that would help you. But there's this, and you are hoping against hope. Maybe this works. Okay. The point of this, first of all, is again, you still have problems with this because, like, in this position, if you go up, then you have to face this. That's technique. I don't know how you avoid this. I was trying to do this because we can get the bishop in, but then again, the same issue arises. Can even take here. Like it's not. I don't know. Okay, yeah. So he took the pawn, but like we said, I don't know why they don't just resign when it's obvious. Yeah, because there's like once this pawn promotes and you trade off the rook, so I'm guessing he's planning not to trade off the rook. But once you get to this position, it's just over. Just resign here. You are not really saving yourself in any form. But sometimes I think what they are doing is what I call like walking it off. And when I say walking it off, you are basically just trying to work on your mindset before the next round. But in this kind of scenario where they have so much time before the next round, I don't think they should go about this way. Again, this is again people slip, but some positions are too hard to slip. The only position that feels like will be slipped is this. Oh, I think I know what happened. I think I know what happened. I think that after he played this move, it's supposed to not at this. Like it's so difficult. Like I get where you're coming from, but it's so difficult to support that here. Like when the way forward is so clear. I don't know. I'm beginning to think that they've actually put the kings on they've left the kings on the board, but they didn't put it in the right location. I think that's what's actually happening here. I think the game is over. Especially because the time is off now. Because the time is done here. Oh, he does play f3, but like we mentioned, f3 just runs into the f3 is just trying to survive, but you can't survive. That's the whole point. F3 is to stop the obvious move your opponent is aiming for, which is checkmate on this square, but it completely misses its whole idea. Oh, I actually messed up something here. Okay. My calculation here was wrong. Okay, so you might have to come in this way first. I forgot that the knight can actually block. I was saying you'd come in here and win the queen. Actually, yeah, you still do that. Right, if the king comes in here, you go check here, he moves, and then you take here. And you are still winning. This game is still going on. What happened? Oh, he did play the blocking move. Bishop ran away, like we said. He did take the queen. So he did take the pawn. Wait, is that real? I thought this just stops the whole idea. What did I miss about this whole thing? Ah, check and you win the rook. Okay. I didn't see that. Okay. Queen takes, and now you double. What about rook? Sorry, what about um rook comes in check either ways. Takes. Oh, if bishop takes, then you just lose the checkmate. No, you don't lose the check. Okay, wait. There's this. King comes up. There's check again. King goes back. Like I don't see the checkmate threat. Yeah. Like I don't see the checkmate threat because this is what I'm looking at. Oh, okay. There's a lot of moves. Okay. Okay. He's having this threat now. They trade off. He has to come back all the way. He's checking first. Doesn't that put you in a conundrum? Or he's okay allowing this. And then I don't know. Because I thought you just retreat backwards or something. This is the only thing that makes sense to me. Takes. Here. Maybe you should start playing competitive chess this year. Yeah, you should. I always say playing live tournaments is like steroids. The more you play, the more you improve in chess. I was trying to look at this move as well. This was the next move I was come to calculate. I was wondering. Morris lost? Why are you so shocked that Morris lost? I think by the time you were on the stream, it was very obvious that the position had shifted. And the losing move for everyone, the first move that made Morris's position worse, to everyone's shock, is C3. Yeah. This is the move that made Morris start losing the position. The second move was Bishop here. The engine expected him to play knight here first. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, yeah, Akam, yeah. I think I saw you here. So yeah. Fully aware of you guys. So now we have this move. Actually, do we just play pawn push first? This endgame is going to be a little bit confusing. Okay, so since his time has run out, he has probably resigned the game. So I'm pretty sure Hasford is one on this board. I'm pretty sure Prince Akbar is one on this board. The only boards that remain are this and this. And this is almost over. He jumps in with the knight. What? Why did he not see that whole line? Oh, that's not the best line. Okay, Queen H3 is like the third best. Knight F5, which he played, is actually the best. Hmm. Wait, no, rather he went Knight F4. Okay. No, he didn't win on time. He won the position. He won the position. Another game where White was winning and then White messed it up. In this position, White is winning. Sorry, in this position, White is winning. Here. What Clinton needed to do was to play the very... Sorry, here. What Clinton needed to do was to play the very strange move here. Takes, king takes. I don't know if he was worried about something along these lines. But again, this is the problem. I'm promoting on the same file as you. And you need your king to defend. So like, for example, if we keep going and I promote, right, you would need your king defending you. Eventually, I can even play this. And if you take, I just move and there's nothing. But again, what I think he hallucinated, I'm just reaffirming this again. I think what he hallucinated here was that after here, king takes, maybe he thought that, again, I don't know how true this is, but maybe he thought that we both trade off and it's a draw, right? But every chess player knows that pawns can move and the kings are not just going to be standing there. So the player who gets to the pawns first is basically the one who is winning, right? Because now I can play this move. And if you come in closer, that's completely fine. I can go in this way. If you take, I can take. And now this guy can't push. So by the time your king steps into the pawn, I just promote. The question though also is, can I also do this? I'm not so sure. But I do feel like you'd have to keep pushing the pawns, and that would still end up in the lost position that we are discussing here. Chess is hard. And we can just show that the king here. It's a very annoying position to have to calculate. Okay, so Akwanda resigns. Okay. The fresh faces are winning, but Hasford is still proving his dominance. All we have left is Bernard's game. And right now, Bernard is looking good. This pawn is a menace. Oh, I hallucinate more than the players. Ninweti, I hallucinate more than the players because I was thinking that it's blacksmith when you're going to play something like pawn. That's just... Yeah, so it is drawish. I'll just let these players play it out. So this is the last game on the board. I'll let them play it out. Going for another 5-minute break. Hopefully by the time we are back, these guys have agreed to a draw. I doubt it. Oh wow, he has a checkmate threat. That's if this guy didn't exist. I'll be back in a jiffy. I don't I don't know how they do it. I sincerely don't know how they do it. Bernard is having a winning position. Oh my goodness. And this is the move. I don't really know if it is actually the move. But this is basically what I'm seeing. I think we'll end up with the Lucina. I could be wrong, but I feel like we'll end up with the Lucina. Oh wait, isn't this a draw for the Lucina? I think this position is a draw for the Lucina because the king can't escape. It may still be a draw. So what does he do? But I think Bernard is winning here. I won't deny that. Oh, I see it now. I was saying he should come in here. He shouldn't. Pawn push is actually the move because if your opponent goes to the back, yeah, you can play this move. This is the point I'm trying to make. And if you try and go from the back, it does nothing. I'm still going to play pawn push. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because if you went rook, d1 like I mentioned, then you are getting a draw position. Okay? You can block it this way. He would have to go the other way. No, that doesn't work. Sorry. Can we still play pawn push here? No, that's still the drawish Lucina position. So what do we go this way? Um, how about this? Yeah, we can do this. The same thing we did with the other game and just promote from here. I think this is also a plausibility. Like we can actually also do this. Taking here cuts off the king. But I think you're fine with that. Once again, can go pawn push. You come in this way, we come in this way. You don't have anything. You have to stay or you have to try and bring your king in, right? You have to still try and bring your king in. And in that time, we are going to like have this. And even if you get your king in, eventually this is what's going to happen. And you're not going to get close enough to the king. You're going to just win this. Instead of checking, we're going to go up, and do the whole thing. Use your rook to make a line, though his king may be shy, make him look just in the eye, then move back the line. If you guys remember all that stuff, that's golden. That's golden. Is Gertrude? Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, okay. So let's see if they've posted the result. Nope, they haven't yet. Okay. One thing's for sure, Hasford wants his revenge. One thing is for sure, Hasford wants his revenge. And it doesn't matter how far the pawn is pushed, it's still fine. It doesn't matter how far the pawn is pushed, it's still fine, right? You can push the pawn now. You can push the pawn 2 squares ahead. It doesn't matter. If you come in here, there's always this move. The king always comes in and it comes in. It's just over. And the transformation of that position, like I said, just play this. The same thing that Hasford did to Logolo or Daniel. You just go this way. Yeah, king comes in. He's not coming in time. He's still going to think as though he doesn't know what's going on, but he's just going to win it. Yeah. If you see this, they know that they are lost. They just know. Just at this point, it's just formality. Yeah. So the jump is to show that black has won. The kings are going on this side of the board. It should reflect here. If it hasn't reflected here, then yeah. For those who did not do that, that's the nuisance that's going on these boards. They left the board without arranging the pieces, so that's why we don't have the results. So guys, we come to the conclusion of the first round. The next round supposedly supposed to start at 4. I don't think it'll start at 4. I think it'll start at 2:30 or 3. Because they don't want to leave there at 8, right? The first round was at 10. It started around like 9:50 or something. Then we ended at 1, which is like 4 hours. Yeah. So I don't think they want to do that. I think they'll either start in the next hour or in the next hour and a half. So I'm ending off the stream. I'm going to run some errands and I'll be back hopefully before the next round begins. Thank you guys so much for being around. As always, I've been Mason and I really do enjoy your presence. If you haven't already, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That's if you're on YouTube. You can follow on Twitch and you can also subscribe as well. Like I said, the monetary support helps us. We have so many things we want to get within this year to ensure that the streams are always consistent and always not lagging. We are trying our best for that. So you can consider supporting me in any of these ways. Get your friends to subscribe, all those wonderful things. It really does help me out. I do also offer coaching. The prices are negotiable, so you just use the command !coaching and you can just meet me in my emails. We can discuss pricing, we can discuss meeting times, and yeah, I'll see you guys when the next round begins. Have a great break, not rest of your day, because we'll be